All right, Rocco, we're back.
We are.
Yeah. Like there's never any material, nothing ever goes on. Nothing. Our world is so boring.
The alien mothership's coming.
Wait.
You didn't see that article? The Pentagon just released.
Wait. Stop. I thought it was a joke that Rogan, Leonard Holt was the one, the video that I said that they were talking about a mothership.
I thought it was a joke too, and then I went and read an article that the Pentagon, like one of the people that study, what are they called? Not UFOs now.
Ufologist.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Oh yeah, UPAPs or
UAPs or something.
Yeah. Okay.
And he said that there it's possible there is an alien mothership that entered our solar system that has sent small probes out, possibly to monitor Earth and other planets.
See, I thought this was a joke that Rogan did because Rogan started a comedy mothership club in Austin.
Oh no! This article. It was in a report. Like it was like a draft report that someone like released. I was literally working out this morning and watching TikTok, and I'm like, this has got to be bullshit. So I looked at it in Military Times. It talked about the Pentagon, and yeah, it's like I don't know where. So as I was leaving the house, it said, "Just so you know, aliens are coming."
Well, hopefully they're coming to relieve us of Biden, but I don't know if we can be that freaking lucky.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go all over the board first.
Yeah, please, let's do it.
The war.
Yeah.
So what really has happened, the only big punch that Russia's been able to extract, I think, is they went and they targeted, I think, 5 or 7 cities throughout the entire country of Ukraine.
Okay.
And they sent some hypersonic missiles, and they strategically hit these cities. So there was some success there, but the real story is that they've got a significant amount of troops that are withdrawing. The Wagner Group, which is that private army, they're publicly complaining because Putin has shut off the ammunition supplies to them, so they've got no ammunition.
Okay.
And a bunch of... I guess there's been they've taken a lot of heavy losses in these areas where they're actually there fighting. Also, the Russian government, did you hear this, sent a lot of them out with just shovels and old rifles from, I want to say, about 50 to 80 decades ago.
I didn't hear any of this.
Yeah, so... I don't know what's going on over there. I mean, it's hard for a citizen to watch the news and figure out exactly what's happening over there.
Listen, man, I don't know what's going on in this world in general. Like I saw a graphic yesterday because of all the bank collapsing that's potentially going to happen, and they showed like all these big stocks all in red, and then it just showed the country Ukraine in green, like up 1,000 because of all the money we've given them. Like our financial system is about to collapse. Because you saw the Silicon Valley Bank.
Yeah. So in layman's terms, you're a little more versed on that than I. What's going on there?
So Silicon Valley Bank, they're saying this is the second largest bank failure in our country since Lehman Brothers.
Okay.
So what I understood that happened. So they had, coming into this year, they had like $200 billion in customer deposits, and typically what banks do is they don't hold that money, they don't hold that cash, right? They buy bonds or put it into
right.
So they bought bonds, but because interest rates have risen so much, those bonds are now worthless, so to speak, and there was a run on deposits, and they had to start cashing in bonds. Now they're losing money, so the federal regulator stepped in yesterday and took over the bank, and the banks, you have FDIC insurance, so deposits up to $250,000 are insured, meaning you'll get the money. That bank, I think it was only 2.75% of the deposits were under $250,000. So 97% of their customer deposits were over $250,000. People are potentially going to lose all that money, like big companies that have their money there. There's a lot of theories out there, conspiracy theories on this, and they're talking about this could be the start of the financial collapse of the financial system, to kind of reset the system to the ISO 20022 standards using like digital currency. It's, again, like, I don't know how true all of that is. I know Silicon Valley Bank failed yesterday.
Okay.
I don't know what else is going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see it run on the bank soon.
So the FDIC only insures the average person's.
The FDIC insurance is $250,000 through. That was increased. I can't remember when. Maybe during the financial crisis.
It used to be 100.
It was 100,000. Then it moves the level up to 250,000.
Okay.
So up to that, your deposit's insured. But this bank apparently only less than 3% of their deposits were under that amount. The other 97% of customer deposits were over $250,000. So if you have $2 million in there, you're guaranteed to get 250 of it, 250,000. The rest you may or may not get.
And that's, I think the average consumer doesn't get that idea, because people think of the bank as being just like, oh, what's the bank?
The bank is
that's
safe.
My money. Right?
Yeah, that's a whole different rabbit hole we can go down, like how safe are banks and what are banks really? Because it's, the fact that happens so fast.
Well, they borrow on future earnings, right?
I mean, they only have to have a small percent of liquidity. Right. So if you have $200 billion in deposits, I don't know what, just say, for example, say the liquidity is 10%. That means you only have to carry, $20 billion in cash or in money. The rest can be put out and used. They arbitrage basically, right? They go out and invest the money in bonds. If they're paying a customer a 0.75% savings rate, they can go out and buy bonds that are paying 2%. They're making the arbitrage on the 1.25%.
Right. That's how it works.
But because now what happened when they bought these bonds that were like 2% bonds, federal interest rates are up so high you can get T-bills at 3.75%. So the bonds are now not worth as much as they were. They lost money, run on deposits. They had to cash in, took losses. They couldn't raise capital to offset the losses. The federal regulators took over yesterday. So there's that. A bunch of trains have been crashing.
Yeah, more of them,
shit.
Right?
Yeah, more. Like, we had this debate in the office this week, and I still think I'm right. They're like, well, there's been train crashes all the time. Like, I've never heard, like,
I haven't.
In my adult life, I've never heard of trains crashing. Like, I don't remember any time since I was in my 20s till now
hearing toxic.
Right.
Hearing
about any train crashing.
Right.
It's like, I feel like every week a new train's crashing. And they're all suddenly carrying like these toxic chemicals or fuel that's seeping into the ground. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Yep.
I don't get it. So there's that. Trains, aliens, bank collapse.
No, this aliens thing. So Joe Rogan launched his comedy club in Austin called Comedy Mothership.
Okay.
All right. And so they have their own Instagram page, so I've been kind of following that. So
I'm
getting updates.
Okay.
And one of the updates was Lester Holt of NBC News, I think.
Yeah.
Giving the nightly news and talking, but again, he was talking about a mothership. He mentioned something about with a very stone-faced delivery. Yeah. And now an alien mothership is on its way to Earth. And he said it that I thought maybe it was a deep fake or it was some kind of manipulation, and Rogan was thus using it to launch Comedy Mothership, because that stuff goes on now. There's deep fakes and things.
Yeah.
And then you this morning,
I mean, literally,
talking about Mothership.
I may still have the article. I hate to pull out my phone on your show because I know that's a no-no, but I think this is important. This is important.
You get special dispensation.
This is important, man.
Well,
MilitaryTimes.com,
MilitaryTimes.com.
I mean,
so who declared this? A scientist?
Pentagon UFO chief says alien mothership in our solar system possible. So it says, there's a possibility that extraterrestrial motherships and smaller probes may be visiting planets in our solar system. The head of the Pentagon's Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Research Office noted in a report draft shared Tuesday. An artificial interstellar object could potentially be a parent craft that releases many small probes during its close passage to Earth, an operational construct not too dissimilar from NASA missions. Sean Kirkpatrick, director of Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, wrote in a research, I don't know what the fuck that is, wrote in a research report, co-author. I mean, so I'm assuming this is legit. I feel like, I feel like that is... I mean, is this is the world? Like,
yes.
I mean,
I do find that this is ironic, friends. When Rocco and I first connected years ago, one of my earlier guests,
2019.
I kind of brought up on a couple occasions with him that we do a UFO show, and my kind of kind of like enthusiastic belief in UFOs and things, and he was looked upon as with some highbrow, a little bit of skepticism, like
very skeptical.
It's like, okay, and I just find it fascinating now that you're like entrenched now.
It's come full circle, man. Well, because again, like
we're getting on the UFO show.
I would love to be on that. So now I just want to sit and listen. Like I don't even need to say anything. Because here's my thing, like. I'm a skeptic till I'm not, and it's not that I'm skeptical. I need data. Like I'm a data-driven person, even though I don't seem like it. Like I make decisions based upon. I process data and I make decisions based on that. So believing in aliens and UFOs, I'm like I had no data to support that. I knew there was a bunch of crazy people out there talking about it, but now you're seeing it more and more, and I can't logically say this is just bullshit or dismiss it. That's a good way of putting it. Like I can't logically dismiss it. So now it's like I have to like look into it because that's where my brain goes. So it's like what? And then this morning I'm literally on the treadmill. I have my routine. I'm watching TikTok as I'm doing this. And something, I'm like, is this fucking bullshit? Like this cannot be real. Like I was watching stuff last night about the banks collapsing, the financial system. Like, do I need to go to the ATM today and take out a bunch of money? Like, I don't know. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, now the alien mothership is here. It's like, what am I supposed to fuck? So I looked it up. I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. There was an actual report. Yeah. So like, again, like maybe if Trump would have won, we'd have a different. I mean,
well, there is some parallel universe. If you believe in quantum mechanics and quantum physics, there are parallel universes out there where that did happen. And there's another you and another me out there moving around in a world where he is the new president.
I mean,
he still remains the president.
I'd love to meet that other version of myself. Wonder what he's like.
Well, there could be infinitesimal versions of it.
Yeah, that's going to make it's too early on a Saturday to make my brain explode.
So
right
back
now.
to the war real quick, just to put a little encapsulation on this. It's amazing. Like I went on YouTube and did a dive on just war videos, and you have to filter through a lot of crap. People just looking to try to monetize their channels, and there are some that are done really well. But you get 50-50. You'll get 50%. All these Russian gains, and Russia army does these and has these successes, and then of course Ukraine pummels. So if you're really looking to find out what the truth is there. Even between the two major news services. I mean, yesterday I found it fascinating with all this dysfunction in the world. The two headlines on their websites, CNN and Fox, one was trying to convince me that Jane Fonda is the worst woman walking the planet. And the other one was lauding how Colin Kaepernick was disparaging his birth parents, or not
adopted parents,
for some kind of white related racist kind of upbringing or something. I'm probably fucking it up. Maybe it's a woke thing. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm saying I don't know, but it was generally something there
I saw
where
that.
These two quote unquote celebrities were the lead stories. Like that was more important than everything else.
Right? Like who gives a fuck? But either one of those two people, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Like, there's plenty of other shit in this world to worry about. Like, why are we making those people headlines? And that, again, that is the problem. Like, I feel like so much shit is going on as a distraction to something bigger going on. And I don't know what that is. Maybe it is something with the financial system. Maybe they are trying to reset it. And I don't know. But there's two... I'm a pretty intuitive person, I like to think, and I operate, from data, but also from intuition.
Sure.
There's just something that doesn't feel right. Like, why is all of these crazy things happening, crazy stuff coming out now, and all this stuff in the background, like the whole lab leak. Now they've proven that okay, for all the, and then. I saw a testimony this week was that Dr. Redford, the head of the CDC, was excluded from conversations about this because they wanted to shutter that story. So it was, if I understand it correctly, they knew from the beginning it was a lab leak, and they made all this bullshit up. And that was a lab that we funded, that Fauci
and my
made
question
testimony.
Is why?
Right. That's what I don't know. That's what I can't figure out. Like, what the fuck?
Well, my brain goes to the fact that they're doing some rather devious shit in these labs with some
bioweapons. I mean, think about that. I mean, think about this.
That would make the public cringe if they knew the facts of it.
Of course. I mean, look, if this truly was, and again, until it's said for certain and it's been proven without a doubt, there's still other options out there, but if this was a lab leak, look how many people that killed. I mean, that's pretty criminal in my mind. And Fauci was the one that said, no, not a lab leak, didn't fund gain of function research,
right.
But he did. Like, it's been proven that.
Yes, with taxpayer dollars.
Correct. So it's like, when are people going to be held accountable?
The crazy part for me, though, to wrap my head around is, like, this is the Wuhan facility in China. Mm-hmm. And Fauci is in this particular genre of research, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Was he connected to this Wuhan facility?
No, it was the NIH. I think it was Echo something. They gave a grant money. They funded a grant to this Echo something. I can't remember the name, that funded the lab's gain of function research.
In Wuhan.
In Wuhan, yes.
So help me understand this. Mm-hmm. China is supposed to be, I hate to use the word enemy, but mm-hmm. strategically, from a geopolitical standpoint, they are our enemy.
Yeah.
Why would our tax dollars be going to fund research that then would be conducted by the Chinese government?
Because
they're our enemy. We should be doing that to as a turn against them.
Yeah, but again, I believe they're our enemy, but they're not. When you think about it, right? Think about how much we rely on China for supply chain. So they're an enemy, to the layman. Like, China's bad, the People's Republic of China bad. But again,
communism versus capitalism.
Exactly.
Right.
But we rely on China as a country when you think about it, right? Drugs are made there.
Everything's made
there. A lot
of
the supply chain comes from there. So they can't kind of exclude them. And then why not have it done in China so it's not done in the U.S.? Right?
Okay.
And that's how I look at it. Again, I don't know all the geopolitical pieces to it, but I just think some devious shit went on and someone needs to be held accountable. But instead, we're talking about all this other bullshit. Like, it's like, do you know there's a new thing called climate anxiety?
I saw that. Let's talk about that. Well, the vice president is the one who brought that. And what's funny? I did a little deep dive on that phrase after she did that. Mm-hmm. And there are quite a few, generally left-thinking liberal think tanks and, articles from liberal publications
mm-hmm.
and websites that have been, I think, for a while, mm-hmm. spewing this idea.
Yeah, and it's like, I saw.
She didn't invent it. She just kind of now made it famous.
I didn't know it was a thing, and then I can't remember who I was watching, but they did a montage.
It's not a thing.
Well, but what I'm saying is it's a thing. Millennials, I think, for left leaning millennials. Because here's what I saw. Like, I can't remember who it was. I was watching a commentator, and they were like, I didn't even know this was a thing. So Jesse Walters, I think it was on Fox. He's like, I didn't even know this was a thing. So we went and did some research to see if this is actually a thing. And they did a montage of all these like young people on like TikTok and Instagram saying, well, I want to talk about my climate anxiety because I can't bring children to this world. I can't get married. I can't work because of the climate. I'm like, what the fuck?
You can't work because of the climate.
It's like, I don't even understand what the fuck is going on. And like, they're talking about this stuff like, how can we bring kids into this world when, in 2050 we're all going to be underwater. It's like, when you feed a segment of the population a bunch of bullshit since they were little, of course they're going to believe it. And that's what I feel like has happened. So you created this anxiety by telling people all this bullshit.
Yeah, and it's too big of an issue to blame one particular man. However,
Correct.
Al Gore would have to bear the brunt of some of the blame for this. He took a ecology movement from the late 50s and the 60s and 70s and turned that into an industry.
Yes. Yeah. Look, there are things that, yes, we should probably fix with the planet, right? I agree with that. I'm not a climate expert.
We should not be irresponsible. That's my thing.
No, but we can't live in fear. Like, when I see these people saying, well, what the fuck? I'm not going to bring kids in this world because we're going to be underwater in
it's extrapolated nonsense
25 years.
now.
I'm like, how? Yeah. So we're going to be living in water world in 25 years, apparently. So I'll be, 70 years old, and I'll be have to become a mermaid or something to swim. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's just, like, and then you have our vice president, like, talking about this shit. Like, she's just a train wreck. And I saw another talk she did talking about a school bus. She went on for 5 minutes about a yellow school bus. Like, look how great this school bus is. It's yellow. It's an awesome bus. Who here doesn't love a yellow school bus? I'm like, what?
Like she's talking to 4-year-olds.
I'm like, you are the vice president of the most powerful country in the world, and you just spent 5 minutes talking about a yellow school bus for the purpose of what?
So, but think about this. What does it say really about our society in general, but that she will resonate with a portion of our society? And that portion is definitely not based upon gender, anything else. It's just a philosophy. Yeah. There's a philosophy that kind of crazy talk, elemental stuff, the stuff that's nonsense, will resonate with a portion of our voting society.
100%. Yes, yes. Again, I do not claim to be the smartest person in the world. I do not claim to be the most intellectually astute person.
Just don't insult me.
But when you have our vice president talk just complete word salad fucking blabber, and people are like, oh, she's so poised. I'm like, no, she's not. She spent 5 minutes talking about a fucking school bus. I don't even know why. Don't even know why. There was no context. And then the others, I just love watching the montages of her. It's the time to make change is now, and the time is now to make the change we've been making since the time was yesterday.
I actually wish she would run for president because she would get destroyed
they would never,
on the debate stage.
I don't think either one of those two are going to be on a ticket in 2024.
I mean, could you imagine Nikki Haley and her going on a debate stage? Could you? I would salivate. I would get popcorn. I'd get it all, and I'd just sit and watch that. That would be good theater.
I'd like to put her up against my 21-year-old son. I mean, he'd destroy her, I feel like. And again, not take anything away from anybody. I hate to say anything bad about anybody, but it's when you step into that role, right, you're held to a higher standard. And Trump, same thing. There are a lot of things Trump should not have fucking said. He was just a fucking wild card. He said things that were on people's mind, but as the president, there are things you just should not say. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to your inner circle. Don't go on the news and say a bunch of bullshit. With her, it's just I don't even know what she's saying. And the same thing with Biden sometimes. What is this dude saying? I don't get it. I just don't get it.
My problem with it now is that he is unable to actually articulate what he is putting into as policy or presenting to Congress as policy, or things that he does have the power to enact that he's doing, he cannot adequately articulate to the American people what exactly he's doing and what he believes is going to be the ultimate outcome. He's unable to do that, or unable, or enable. He does not have the capacity.
No, he does not
to do that.
No.
Maybe in generation or decades prior, he did, but now he is feeble, and that's the word I'm going to use to describe.
I would agree with that, because again, I never disliked Joe Biden. Even when Obama was president, I was okay, he's seems like a moderate dude. He seems like he would keep Obama in check. It's kind of how I looked at him. He was, he kind of, as far as what I knew about him, like you said, he was moderate.
Sounds he was out doing all kinds of good stuff for himself and his family during
that's what it seems like now. Yeah, I mean, again,
but he was out of the way.
Yeah, and again, I feel like every politician does that. So it's not just a left thing.
Well, he always was a moderate.
Yes.
Joe had a lying problem, a very public lying problem, which he was caught many times in the late 80s, early 90s.
That was the issue.
Yes. Correct. But he would generally, his voting record was very moderate, almost at times conservative on some issues.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think now it's just how
he's left wing baddie now.
I just don't think he knows what he is. I just think he's just
he's
being controlled by the party.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
A portion of the party, yeah.
Because I believe if he was truly with all of his senses, he would not be doing some of the stuff he's doing right now.
Well, he's done a complete 180 on so many issues.
I agree.
I mean, he just has, without going down rabbit holes. He is. If you go back with Joe Biden 20, 25, 30 years and look at policy issues, he's done an about face. I don't mean he's moved left or moved right. I mean, he's done an about face on many.
Oh, 100%.
Which people do evolve, but they usually don't evolve in a 180 degree. I think you kind of move opinion and it gets massaged left or right generally, but you don't go 180 generally on everything.
No, that's
on big issues.
Because now you're like a flip flopper.
Well, then you're not principled.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. Right? Your principles can be bought. That's how I look at it. Your principles can be bought.
Yeah, I absolutely think this way. So there is an ESPN announcer for, I think it was a basketball game, was it?
I can't remember. I saw the article. I can't remember what type of event it was.
Okay, so he made the mistake of using the word midget.
Yeah.
During a broadcast, and now they're trying to, I would say, career at least, destroy this man.
Yeah, I mean, again, people make mistakes. Just apologize. And again, we have to get back to a society where if we make a mistake, we can be accountable for it. We don't need to cancel someone or destroy somebody's life because of it. Do you know what I mean? That's where I get frustrated with all of this. It's because no one is perfect.
Right.
And a lot of times you have these people sticking up for classes of people that don't want to be stuck up for.
Right.
I'll give you the example. Laura and I went to see Matt Rife, this comedian, hilarious, one of the best comedians I've ever seen, last weekend at the Improv. Younger guy, I think he's 27, came out of nowhere, been doing comedy for 12 years, but came out of nowhere on social media. Only comedian to ever sell out all 8 shows at the Improv, phenomenal. In his set, we went to the Late Show. He was talking about he was doing a show, I think it was in California, and he's and there was a woman in the front that was in a wheelchair, and he was picking on her in the show, he says he does, he harasses the crowd, and he's just really comedian. He's hilarious. And I saw her tear up. He's I was oh fuck, what did I do? And he's and I said, I'm sorry, did I offend you? And she said, she's no. She's I'm crying because you included me. And he was that was this moment where I realized how powerful comedy is. And he's we're too quick to step to the defense of people when maybe they just want to be included. And he's and that was a moment that really changed perspective for me. And he's it made me realize that comedy is a powerful thing.
Sure.
And it does help people. And he's the fact that I took the time to include this woman, and it brought tears to her eyes because no one else has ever done that. He's that's what we need to get back to in this country. And I was fuck yeah, that's exactly it. Because yes, we all have disadvantages, right? But people just want to be included. And why do we have to exclude them or try to protect them if they don't want to be protected? Let them tell us that they want to be protected. Let them tell us, I need help. But don't assume you should help them, or don't assume you shouldn't pick on them. They just want to be part of, they just want to be looked at as everybody else.
It's such a slippery slope though, Rocco, because a good portion of all groups in society, self-declared groups, for whatever the reason, whether it's physical, whether it's not, whatever the group is, a portion of that group, based upon the makeup of the group, is going to be looking today to be offended.
Yeah, again, and I think those are, if I look at groups as a whole, I think there's always a small portion of the groups that are looking to be the victim. Right, but I do believe a very small portion. I believe most.
They're vocal, though.
Yeah, they're very vocal, and that's why it causes the most problem. But I believe most people just want to be like everybody else. That was such a powerful moment for me, just as a spectator.
Sure.
Listening to him say that, and I never really thought about it that way. I didn't really just think about that at all. Because I'm okay, wow, I'm oh, because I would have thought, as he was doing it, I was oh, it's kind of that's rough. I would have probably not stepped in and defended the person, but thinking to myself, you're kind of being a dick, dude. What? But then he made me real by saying that. It's yeah, I shouldn't. That should not be my first thought. It should be, that's hilarious. He's including this person like the rest of us. And then if they get offended, okay, then you kind of know where the line is. But it was a really interesting thing to me because it really changed my perspective on a lot of things. It really did. And I think we need to get back to that as a country. We're stronger as a country when we can be like that. And we don't have to be offended by it. What makes America great is our diversity.
100%.
What makes America great is the fact that we can all say what the fuck we want. We have the First Amendment. We can do what we want as long as we don't harm other people. Right? But we've gotten to the point now where everybody, every word is harmful. If you call someone a carnivore, oh, you offended me, I'm a vegan. It's who gives a fuck? Are you kidding me? But we have people in society that if they are a vegan and you say they eat meat, they are offended and they will cancel you. That's where we are as a country. And we've got to cut this shit. In my opinion, let's get back to being able to offend one another tastefully, with humor, and be able to say, okay, that crossed the line. Okay, I apologize. I walk that back. But it should not be
then go
everything.
on our day.
Exactly. But it should not be, well, now I'm going to fucking cancel you and everything you've ever known or everyone you've ever loved. Like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, it's vindictive.
It is.
A lot of selective outrage. Did you happen to see the Chris Rock special or any excerpts of the Chris Rock special?
I watched the part about Will Smith. It was fucking awesome.
It was. It was.
I mean, I can't even remember parts, but it was so good. It was so good.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was good for me because there's a little part of me is like, he really was wrong in that deal, I think. I mean, I'm on Team Chris Rock here, so I'm a little biased.
I am too.
But ultimately, it was great to see comedy get back to what comedy was.
Right.
And I also love the idea of the concept of, was it selective outrage?
Yeah, selective outrage. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because that kind of encapsulates what's going on in society now.
Yeah, because they went on fucking TV and talked about this, like in an interview.
The two of them, I think.
Yes, it's like
the
Chris
Red
Rock,
Table or something like that.
And Chris Rock makes
podcast.
a joke about it, and he gets fucking slapped. It's like, your wife was sleeping with your son's friend. Kind of fucked up. Like, anybody's gonna make fun of that.
And you go public with it.
And yeah, exactly. Like, you opened the door
on your own podcast.
Yes, like you opened the door. Like, that's the problem. It's one thing if it was a private matter, right?
Sure.
If it was kept private and that was okay, like maybe you crossed the line, but it's like, dude, you opened the door and let everybody in. Kind of like we say in the law, like there are certain things in trial you can't ask about until a witness opens the door. The moment the witness speaks about that topic that may have been irrelevant to that point in time, once they open the door, I'm going to fucking run through it and get all the information. Like, that's exactly what happened. You go on a podcast and talk about your wife banging your son's friend? Like, of course that door's going to be open. And Chris Rock is funny as fuck. He's, of course, going to do that. And the fact you got up and slapped him? Like, come on, dude. Really? Like, that's the most ridiculous thing. Like, when you look back at that moment, like, the past 3 years of this fucking existence, like...
Oof. That's like a lifetime almost. That's a lifetime of shit.
No. I met with a banker this week and we were talking about like just the pandemic, and I'm like, we actually had arrows in the grocery store. Like, thinking if we went all in the same direction in an aisle, it was going to save lives. And like, if you were going the wrong way, people looked at you like you were a fucking criminal. I remember walking in Giant Eagle one day going the wrong way, and this old woman like staring at me. I'm like, all I'm trying to do is grab a box of fucking pasta. It's literally right there. Like, I'm not going to go all the way down and come back. It's literally like at the end of the aisle, but the arrow's pointing this way. I'm just going to be that guy and go, grab it. And she looked at me like if she had a knife, she would have stabbed me. I'm 100% positive of that.
That's incredible.
That's where we are. That has been the
is that your craziest moment from the pandemic, if you had to say?
I mean, that was the time that we were out walking. We like Laura and the girls and I. We went on a hike in the woods, and the people saw us coming. They went and hid behind a tree, like literally hid behind a tree. I'm like, we're outside. Good. Like, that was a good one. But the grocery store one was definitely, because it was like, you know how the owls were, and like in Giant Eagle, it was literally. The box of pasta was at the end of the aisle, but it was an aisle you had to come this way. So right. I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm walking all the way down and coming back. And there was like one old lady in the aisle, and I like walked, and I had a mask on, and I walked down the row, and she like stopped, and she looked at me like, and I looked at her. It was kind of like you stopped. I'm like, and I just slowly like grabbed this and just like ran the other way. And I'm like, that was the weirdest. Like, because I like to think I'm a nice person. Like, I've never had anybody look at me in the store.
Right.
Like, I tend to be pleasant. I smile at people. I say hello.
Right.
I'm like, this old woman's gonna fucking stab me. Like, I need to get out of here fast. Like, holy shit. Yeah. Like, that was definitely the weirdest moment for me.
I had a lady, a rather large woman. In Walmart, when I actually had the courage to go back into Walmart, which was like, I don't know, I want to say it was the fall of 2020. She had only thing I can describe as a sanitary napkin, a Kotex pad, with 2 strings, and she had it across the front, and that was her. It didn't cover her nose; it just covered her mouth. That was her mask. She had to be doing that for a joke, but I will never get that sight out of my mind. That's out of my mind. But the other most crazy thing was when Natalie and I went out to eat. I can't remember the location where it was. I know where it is, but I'm not going to say it. I don't want to out anybody. But there was picnic tables with little canvas tents above them with like a saran wrap material wrapped around the poles, like encapsulated.
Right,
so we weren't allowed to eat inside, but apparently we could eat outside, but they created an inside environment outside, and that was okay for the COVID vaccine, but being inside the building was not.
Well, there was the meme that went around for so long. It was like, during COVID, we couldn't eat inside unless inside was outside. And I'm like, that's exactly what it was. We were just creating restaurants in the parking lot. Like, I remember Walnut Grill, I think it was. Like, they had, or over in that area, I don't know if it was Walnut Grill, the bottle shop, but they had, like, a huge tent. It was, like, almost like a restaurant outside. Great idea. People were just eating there, but because it was outside, you were allowed. Like, that's how crazy it was. I also remember, like, when the toilet paper shortage happened, like, meeting my friend Ashley, one of her friends was like a regional manager. Yeah, we did. We met in a parking lot for toilet paper. Like, her friend was a regional manager of like CVS, and she got her a bunch. I'm like, we don't have any. Can I get some from you?
That's great.
Like, I literally met her in the parking lot at LA Fitness. Like, it was a drug deal, and it was like toilet paper. Like, she just gave me this big ass thing of toilet paper because I wasn't that type of person. I was like, this isn't real. Like, there's no way this is going to be a shortage of toilet paper. And wouldn't you fucking know it? There was not anywhere toilet paper to be found.
Minds.
Oh, we did. We definitely did. I mean,
last thing before we go, Fetterman. Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
I mean, has anyone seen him? Is he? I mean, we see the wife a lot. We see her escapades, leaving the country, leaving him in the hospital. That was a thing. Went to Canada with the kids, I guess, while he was in the hospital. Whatever. I'm not making that value judgment. If that's okay for their marriage, God bless them.
Yeah.
My issue is that when is it going to be okay for us public people to finally start questioning, when is Pennsylvania going to get an active senator, and when is our senator going to be capable of doing their job? When is it appropriate to say that, where I'm not being cruel? Like, when is it okay we can finally ask that question?
I mean, we should be able to ask that question when he was elected. Like, when you're elected as a senator, you need to be able to do the job. And like, I understand, like, I think, what do you have, a stroke, right, or something? And
I think, yes.
Again, like,
but we still elected him, though.
Correct. I mean, he had the stroke before he got elected,
right?
And now it's gotten worse. Right? Didn't he have another one?
Well, he might have, but I think he's in for depression or something. So a stroke-related depression is what he's been treated for at Walter Reed, I believe.
And again, like, we've got to.
He's compromised.
100%. I mean, so, and I don't know the rules in this situation. Like, what do you do when a senator can't serve? Like, do you have to run a special election?
Yes, if he was to resign, my understanding is there would be a special election, but I think there's a time frame involved with that. So a lot of folks are pushing back, like, hey, are they just trying to keep him, out of sight, out of mind, and in office until we get past that time frame that would then prohibit another special election that close, and then have the Democratic governor appoint. I think that's how it's done, right? The Democratic governor, or the governor who happens to be Democrat, would then appoint another Democrat. But if he resigns before the deadline to enact a special election, you see what I mean? There's a deadline.
I didn't realize that. Okay, that makes.
Don't quote me. I believe that's how it works. That would make sense. I believe that's how it works.
Because of course, if it gets to the point where the governor gets to the point, they're going to appoint a Democrat.
Right. So maybe that's looking at it from afar. Maybe that's the strategy. I don't know, but forget the politics aside of it. It's like, I mean, you can't put politics aside, but I'm trying to here. If he is not of sound mind. And I think depression has lots of different scales and levels of depression.
Yeah, of course.
From functional to non-functional, but we don't know anything because we're really not getting any kind of significant updates. And isn't it fascinating that all news sources, conservative, liberal, no one's talking about it?
Yeah, that's what I can't figure out. Again, like is there something else going on? Like, I can't figure it out because I still can't figure out how he got elected, first and foremost. I just think he had more money than Oz. Plain and simple, I think, the Soros and those people put a ton of money into that Senate race.
Oh, that crypto guy, right? Dumped a bunch of money toward the end, didn't he?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. Sam Bankman-Fried.
And he kind of disappeared off the the news thing, right?
Well, and I think, again, like, there's conspiracy theories about that as well. Like, that they used him as a conduit to get money into certain elections, and all of a sudden they knew that was going to collapse. However, I just don't know how he got elected. Like nothing,
Nothing makes sense.
Nothing makes sense because he wasn't articulate. He didn't. What policies has he done? Like everyone's like, oh, like he's so smart. He's so, okay. Like I don't. What is he doing now?
His resume, his actual resume was very weak. Now I don't know how you want to say embellished or whatever it is. Maybe they're lauding some political and some like some social things he did to help society. Very possible.
They said, "Oh, he went to Harvard. He did this." It's like, okay, like I don't give a shit about that.
But his functional resume,
right? Correct,
is interesting.
What I learned through that whole election process, because again, I'm friends with people on Facebook that are opposite political views of me.
Sure.
And it was so interesting to me that when it came to Republicans, education doesn't fucking matter. Like, who gives a shit how much education they had? Fetterman was running. It's like all they talked about, well, he's Harvard educated. How can you just dismiss this man? He's got this. He's this. He's all this education. He has a master's degree in this. I'm like, oh, now it fucking matters when it's your guy. But when it's the other guy, it's like education doesn't fucking matter. It's like, what do they do for the people? And it's like, because Fetterman's never done anything for the people, it was like, okay, well, let's talk about his education now. And it's like people talk out of both sides of their mouths.
Yeah, they found, and then, well, that's politics, right?
And that's what I fucking hate about it. Like, it's bullshit.
All right, brother, we're off to the radio station.
We are.
But again, publicly, I want to thank you, and I want to thank your incredible law firm for making this all possible.
We appreciate the
and
opportunity.
being our exclusive sponsor, the Cozza Law Group. Yeah. Look them up, CozzaLaw.com. There's the plug, right?
I appreciate that,
you
man.
got it.
Great plug.
All right. All right, friends, until next time, how we see it. And there's plenty to talk about.